How does it feel to be back in full costume to be the Terminator again?
I told him that I would be delighted to play in another Terminator film, to play that character that I love and that I thought was always really well written. But the script has to be, of course, great. And so 2 years later, they brought me a script that was really spectacular, and it was big, but it had also a great storytelling and great emotions, a great emotional kind of roller coaster ride. So I loved it, and it was great to be back.
How is it for you to see yourself in this wonderful movie?
Yeah, quite surprising. It still takes a minute for me to sort of see myself on screen with brown hair, for one thing. But yeah, it was because when you're filming a movie of this nature, there's so much green screen work and so much stunt work that is, you can only film so much, and then you see the huge spectacle that the movie is, and it always exceeds your imagination as to how huge the stunts and how impressive that can be. So it was quite cool.
Do you still remember the first day on set when you really were in character, when everything started? How was it for you?
Yeah, it was good. I'm not sure how much in character I was because there was a lot of fear. So it was a good 50-50. But then you kind of see Arnold as the Terminator sitting next to you doing this brilliant scene, and you're like straight in there. So it was very nerve-wracking, but my Doc Martens helped me get through.
Without being disrespectful, was it harder to get in shape, to get fit this time?
No, when you stay in shape, it's not really that complicated. I mean, I'm not like the ordinary 76-year-old person that sits in a rocking chair and with a cane walking around or something like that. So, I believe in a body in motion stays in motion. And so I train all the time. So to me, I just had to, 2 months before the movie started, I trained twice as hard to get back up to the body weight that I had in 1984, to get the size back again, because I normally don't want to be that overly developed anymore. And we practiced the stunts, and we did the cardiovascular training and all this, so that the whole shooting of the movie was no problem at all. And flying around and being suspended on the harness and the wires and all this, and crashing into things and doing the stunts, it was a lot of fun. I had a great time doing it.
How real is Skynet? I mean, seeing you attached.
It's terrible.
No, honestly, do you think that is our near future, that we are so close to this?
I'm afraid it is. It's actually a legitimate concern of mine, the amount that we're surrendering to technology. But it's communication. I just hope that the technological advances in communication don't ultimately prohibit us from being able to sit in two chairs and look at each other and have a conversation.
Okay, I hope so too. Speaking of conversation, the first time you've been on the set, on this Terminator set, how is it for you to really be there, see all the guys, the other actors, all the scene? How was that?
Well, it was intimidating, a little bit at first, just the whole project is, and certainly Arnold, this iconic guy and this iconic character, which is good because my character is sort of intimidated and in awe of the whole thing too. So it was very easy to get into that mindset. But then once I sort of got my feet wet and knocked out a shot or two, it was a very collegial environment, and everybody, doing their best to be on the same page and tell the same story. And Arnold was very approachable and generous and good guy to hang around with at work.
First time you've been on set, do you still remember the day when you really was in costume? Everybody was ready, ready, set, go. How is it for you?
It's always tough that first day. I mean, actually, we kicked off the movie with a scene that was quite big and important. It was actually the first scene we shot was the first time that Reese and Sarah Connor meet in the truck, in the armored vehicle, and it was tough. I remember it was hard because we knew what we were undertaking, and how important it is to kind of nail the tone and the dynamic of those sorts of things. And all the preparation in the world, still, day one, it's always going to feel a little funky and a little weird, and you've got to sort of warm up to that a bit. And I remember that was sort of, I remember feeling the pressure that day, thinking like, I hope we're getting this right, because there's no turning back,
Mm-hmm.
the moment came when Arnold came on the first time and said his first line on camera, and he had the leather jacket and he had the shotgun, and there was a moment where I was watching the monitor and he stepped on, said his first line. I looked around, everybody had dropped what they were doing and they were sort of holding their work and were just watching the event, and it confirmed something I felt in the screenings we've had since then, which is that in this role there's something magical. This guy clicks, and there's a reason he's a pop icon.
There's a moment in this movie where you can time travel. Given the chance you could travel back in time, what would you tell your younger self?
Well, I wouldn't have no interest in traveling back to my past, to kind of like an earlier stage of my life or so. I would rather go back to the times and watch them build the pyramids. Or I would like to sit there when Caesar makes certain decisions, and see the Roman Empire, or the kind of the battles that developed there. I would be more interested in traveling back in different times when there were historic moments that were very important that we read about, that people don't know really all the facts. So I would love to sit there and get to discover all the facts. So that's what I would be interested in.
Okay, thank you so much for the interview. Thank you.